Greetings, students and teachers. Right now, I'd like to introduce a new TOEFL series by Daragwan. The name of the series is TOEFL Map. Right now, I'd like to introduce the reading book, the Reading Advanced book. Now, let's take a look inside and see what's in the book. The book is divided into three parts. We have Part A, Part B, and on the next page is Part C. Now, Part A is entitled Understanding Reading Question Types. What this part does is it explains each of the 10 types of questions right here. Now, Part B is the largest part of the book. It's called Building Background Knowledge of TOEFL Topics. What this does is it divides, there are 8 chapters. Each chapter is divided into a different subject. For example, Chapter 1 is History. Chapter 2 is the Arts. Chapter 3 is Archaeology and Anthropology, and so on. All of these topics are ones that regularly appear on the TOEFL test. And finally, we have Part C, Experiencing the TOEFL IBT Actual Test. This is a part that has 2 full-length actual tests with topics and questions that are similar to those that appear on the actual TOEFL. Now, let's take a look inside the book itself. Now, Part A explains each type of question. Let's take a look at Part 1, vocabulary questions. There's a short introduction about the type of question. Then we have the structure of the question. This is how the vocabulary questions will usually appear on the test. And here are some helpful hints that can help you answer the vocabulary questions more easily. The next page has 2 short passages, each one of which has a vocabulary question attached to it. Finally, there is an explanation of the questions. This is what Part A looks like. Now, let's take a look at Part B. Now, Part B, again, building background knowledge of TOEFL topics. We'll look at Chapter 1. Chapter 1, History. There's a short introduction. Then we have the passages. The first is Mastering Question Types. There are 4 of these passages. They're short passages, and each passage has just 4 questions, 4 specific questions. In this case, we have sentence simplification, vocabulary, factual, and rhetorical purpose question. But each one of these sections, the first 4 of the Mastering Question Types, the first 4, you have all 10 types of questions in this section. So you get a chance to learn about and experience the different questions that are asked on the TOEFL. Now, the next part is called Mastering the Subject. As you can see, these passages are a little bit longer, and each passage has a total of 5 questions. They can be any type of question. Finally, on this part, there is also a short summary of the passage. Just like in the Mastering Question Type section, in the Mastering the Subject, there are a total of 4 passages. Finally, we have the actual TOEFL questions, or passage. There are 2 of these. These are full-length TOEFL passages, and each passage has either 13 or 14 questions. So you have a chance to experience 2 full-length TOEFL questions, or TOEFL passages with questions. Finally, at the end of each chapter, we have Star Performer subject topics. There are 10 short passages on different topics in history, and these topics are all ones that have appeared on the TOEFL test. After this part, we have our vocabulary section, which is divided into 2 parts. First, as you can see, there are many words that are associated with history. Next, we have the vocabulary review. These past sentences are all from the passages in the chapter, and they focus on different vocabulary words that are associated with history. And that's what a complete chapter looks like. Finally, let me show you the actual test section. This is Part C, Experiencing the TOEFL IBT Actual Test. Here's a chance where you get to experience what you've learned in this book. Example reading set A has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 full-length passages divided into 2 actual test sets. So all of these both of these 2 tests focus on the different topics and the different questions that you've learned in the book. And that's what this book is about. And we hope that this will give you a chance to work on the TOEFL, practice for the TOEFL, and improve your chances, improve your score on the test.